Hello, this is a quick tutorial on how I set up my Digitakt and Digitone. These are the connections. We're taking the outputs from the Digitakt into the inputs of the Digitone, and Midi out of the Digitakt into the Midi in of Digitone. So let's just do that real quick. Output right into input right. Output left into input left, and also Midi out into Midi in. And we can't hear anything yet because we can hear the Digitone, but we can't hear the Digitakt yet. And that's because we have to set up the master page. And to do that, let's hold func and press LFO to get into the master page of the Digitone. And we have to set the input left and input right to 100. An easy way to do it is to just hold func and then turn the knob. It'll set it to 100. And if you turn it further, it'll set it to max. But I think 100 is fine. And we also have to pan the left input, or the left input all the way to the left, and the right output all the way to the right. So now we can turn up the volume on this one. Now we can pan left and right. So this one is optional, but I like to have overdrive at around 20. And the difference is this overdrive affects the entire audio chain or sound chain. Anything that comes from the Digitakt into the Digitone and anything from the Digitone itself will be affected by this one. So this sounds normal, but if we crank it up, everything will be crunched up. And I like to set it to 20, around 20. And if it distorts too much, then I can turn down the volume of each track instead. So I like to use the overdrive knob as a sort of master limiter, or not exactly compressor, but nothing will get louder than this overdrive knob allows. So that's that part. And to get the Midi stuff to work, we have to set, let's see, we have to go into the Midi settings and sync. And let's do the same here. Let's go to Midi config, sync. And now we have to make it so that the Digitakt is sending clock and program change. So send clock, send program change. And the Digitone has to receive clock and program change. So now we can confirm this by going into the tempo mode, and let's change it. And we can see up here that the Digitone is going to follow the tempo. And if we just play some trigs, now this one is going to send me the play as well. And I also like to do all my muting on the Digitakt. And to do that, I set the first thing is I have to go to the Midi config and port config, and further down here is the mute destination. Set this one to internal plus external, and what happens now is if we go to mute mode here, func and bank to enter mute mode, it'll light up red when it's unmuted, and it'll turn gray when it's muted. And if we take a look here, the MIDI tracks won't mute anything, but the 4 tracks here will mute these 4 synth tracks. So we have to go into the Digitakt settings, Midi config channels, and track 1 through 8, we have to turn those off. So a quick way to do it is to hold func and press left, and it'll jump 8 units at a time, sort of. And then we have to set MIDI track A, B, C, and D to 1, 2, 3, and 4. And now when we mute and unmute these 4 tracks, these synth tracks will also mute and unmute. And these tracks will just mute the Digitakt zone tracks. And yeah, that's it. Hope that was helpful. Actually, I'll try to make a very quick beat. So let's I like to set the compressor to when we have the overdrive knob, the compressor, I don't have to be as hard on the compressor, but I like the compressed sound, and I like the kick to have to be very loud, but I don't really like this sample all that much, so let's make it short. Let's make this snare also a bit shorter. And let's make this hat a bit shorter as well. Yep, and I like to have my lead synth on track 1, my pads or keys on track 2, my bass on track 3, and eventual drums on track 4 if I need extra drums. So let's make something on the bass channel or bass track. I like this one. Let's give it some swing. We also have to add swing on the Digitone. The tutorial is over, by the way. I'm just playing around on cam. let's set the track 3 to only have one voice so that it cuts itself. Make it shorter so that it doesn't lead into this one, it has to stop right before. Same with this one, 250 is okay. Yeah, this one's gonna be longer. This one's gonna be short. Yeah, now we have a simple bass line. Let's make a lead. Yeah, I like this one. I think I have to set this one to all. It's just a nitpick thing, but I heard that the volume difference in volume when playing this note these are a bit uneven, and I think it's because of this phase reset. I like to set the phase reset to off if I'm gonna have just one voice, and if I want it to be like one continuous voice, then I like to reset the phase, because otherwise it might get this click attack sound. Let's see. Oh yeah, we have to unmute it. And now I hear that the overdrive it's a bit much, so maybe we can turn down a few things. Let's turn down this lead. Just turn it down to 50, and let's do the same with the bass. Turn it down to 50, and then turn the drums down, and then we'll slowly turn them back up. Yeah, I think that's better. Let's continue on the lead. I think the D-tune is a bit much on this one, so let's turn down. I think maybe it's yeah, let's turn down both. of these. I've set up the pitch. The first LFO is controlling pitch, and it's set to random, and it's set to what's it called? Hold mode. So it'll randomly like slightly move the pitch up and down per note. And this one will change the depth of the first LFO. So it'll like the first LFO will set a detune, and the second LFO will sort of make it slowly go in the direction it was it's set in the first place. So I think we can demonstrate it with so each note plays a different different pitch. But if we set it back to like very low, maybe 10, but set the LFO depth to very high, so that's how I got the slight drift feeling. But yeah, it was a bit much, so I turned it down. Let's see what it sounds like now. Let's add a pad. Maybe this one works. Yeah, let's try that. And it's gonna play for 16 steps. Actually, we can set the entire thing to 16 and not just this step. And we're on page 4, so let's move back to page 1 and unmute. Set the next chord. Oops. Paste it and then edit. I think that's better. tutorial ended like 10 minutes ago, so thanks for, or maybe 15 minutes ago. Well, yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.